Live, only on DAZN, July 12th. Ring 3, Berlanga versus Shirez and Stevenson versus Cepeda. They're in their prime, they're hungry, and they're done being called the future. Berlanga versus Shirez, Stevenson versus Cepeda. Ring 3, live, only on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Music Versus to Part 2, Saturday, July 19th. Live, only on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Any words for Mike Oppinger?
Nah, I don't got too much to say. Fuck him.
Any words for Oscar?
Fuck Oscar De La Hoya. Fuck you. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. We're gonna smack the shit out of you tomorrow.
Uh-oh. Here we go again. Here we go again. See, this the shit I've been talking about. When everybody was saying, ShowBizz, why did you go defending Ryan Garcia? I kept saying over and over again,
this is not about defending Ryan Garcia.
This is about raising the awareness of fighters, number one, and boxing fans when a fighter pops. Just yesterday, we just find out early this morning that Khataev, who is going to be the op for David Morrell come this Saturday night, that he popped. He popped for clomiphene. And I know you guys are like, clomiphene, where have I heard that before? That's right, Conor Ben! Y'all remember the egg slap?
Oh, tempers flaring there.
Now, he popped for clomiphene during an out-of-competition testing. Minute levels, but it was above the threshold, so he popped. Now, they're going to suspend Khataev for 2 years, all right? Just like they were threatening with Conor Ben. Now, Khataev and his team, they said that they did not purposely ingest clomiphene and that the time that he was tested, he was actually coming out of Ramadan fasting. And then I guess he was just eating this shit and he popped. Now, they are saying that it possibly came from food consumption. And that's the only thing they could think of, that it came from food consumption, which you guys remember the article where Conor Ben, he said, expect more fighters to pop. Because of this shit, they're going to be popping for clomiphene. And he was saying, hey man, if you can find this stuff in food, what do you expect a fighter to do? He's going to eat what he thinks is natural. Eggs, fish, chicken, whatever it is. So they actually have on WADA an article of this. And I want to read this to you guys. WADA, if you don't know, WADA does the testing. So, okay, VADA. Let's say VADA, known as the number one drug testing for boxing right now. VADA just collects the samples and they give it to WADA for testing. Here's what WADA had to say. So they're talking about our poultry and eggs, a source of minute amounts of clomiphene and doping controlled samples. Now let's move on. So here's the main find. They were just talking about a lot of back stuff earlier. You guys can read it yourself. It says, athletes are permanently at risk of inadvertent ingestion of prohibited substances, as shown so prominently across countries by the clenbuterol scandal. You guys know clenbuterol is like a bad word now. And I was telling you guys then, that was a scandal. And WADA has been trying to warn fighters and athletes across the world about this. Let me go on. In consideration of the growing number of AAFs related to clomiphene, it cannot be excluded that food consumption is one reason of the phenomenon. In this study, the possible contamination of eggs and chicken meat with clomiphene was investigated since it had been shown that clomiphene administration can lead to an increased egg production rate in hens. Meaning that these food manufacturers and farmers are injecting their hens with clomiphene and shit, with clenbuterol, all those things. With clomiphene, they're ingesting the hens so they can produce more eggs, right? I mean, they're trying to find a way to sell more products. So that's how they're manufacturing their eggs, injecting hens with clomiphene. And they do that with steroids. They do that with clenbuterol and making meat bigger. Like steaks and shit are humongous now. And like, dude, eggs and everything are huge. And I was just telling you guys that we have to look into how food is being manufactured. We can't really get away from this. This is a bigger issue, all right, because it's affecting us. Many of us have new allergies that we didn't have before. Many things are going on with just how food is being consumed. And now you have these fighters popping, and they're like, why? That's why I told Bill Haney that if Devin the American Dream Haney were to pop, if he does, I'm going to be on this with him too. I could give a damn about defending Ryan Garcia. My time, but see, you're not listening. You're not listening, Bill. Bill, you're not listening. It was about how these supplements are being manufactured.
No.
It's about how these supplements are being manufactured, and a lot of these fighters, including your son, he could get hit with something that he did not do on purpose. And when that happened, I'll be there to defend your son too. Because we're dealing with a bigger issue, cross-contamination when it comes to just regular supplements like protein and anything that, you know, is clean and that you can take as far as an athlete. You can still pop and be like, I didn't even do anything. And the same with food. You can pop for clenbuterol. You can pop for clomiphene. This is becoming a real deal. And now Khataev is out here fighting for his life. We don't even know if we're going to get the Morrell and Khataev fight this Saturday. Now, I was looking at the media workout. I saw David Morrell looking ridiculously focused and looking great. But I didn't see Khataev. All right. And now he has this on his head. He doesn't know if they are actually going to fight. When does the suspension start? Is he's able, you know, I mean, this is so, I'm not sure if you can even find a replacement in a couple hours, but I'm pretty sure His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh and their team are just trying to find out a plan B or a backup, which he's good at that, right? I mean, you saw what happened with Joseph Parker and Bacoli and that whole, so he's fine, and Patley and all that. So they know how to do that. I'm just saying, looking at the media workout, let's move on to the media workout though, because I did have fun watching it. I never heard so many F-bombs in my life.
Fuck Oscar De La Hoya. Fuck you.
Some things to say.
Now I don't got too much to say. Fuck him.
We're gonna smack the shit out of you tomorrow. Fuck Oscar. Fuck Shiraz too. He's a fucking muppet. Oh, he's a dick eater.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Listen, man. Everybody looking great. Shakur Stevenson looking great and focused. You know, I did have a DM and a guy was questioning, you know, looking at Shakur Stevenson's hands and how his hands are slightly open while he's shadow boxing. He's like, man, I don't think he could make a fist. Well, you can't really look at that. I mean, listen, Berlanga was doing the same thing. And that's because they're used to their hands being in gloves. Okay, so you don't really make a complete fist inside of a boxing glove, you know. So if you look at the way his hand is shaped while he's shadow boxing, even Berlanga, you could tell they're just used to their hands being in gloves. So it's kind of cupped instead of clenched. All right. But you do want to squeeze your hands as much as possible in the glove so you can have, you know, a better punch, a harder punch. But everybody's looking good. So is Hamza Shiraz.
Puncher at 140. He doesn't seem to have much power at all.
Also, David Benavidez has gone up. He's struggled to put people away as well. But as far as Hamza Shiraz, Mike, if he does win this fight and wins decisively against Berlanga, how high will his stock?
But going back to this, all right, because I would be flying out for the press conference. Dude, boxing is so lit right now. Boxing is everywhere. I'm going to be flying out for the press conference for David Benavidez versus Anthony Yard. So I'm going to be doing that and speaking with a few of the fighters there and take care of that. We're in the zone war room. But getting back to this, maybe I'm one of the only ones who are really dialed in on this, but I think this is bigger than hip hop, bro. I think this is a big issue, and I'm happy WADA is on it, as they should. They already raised the levels for clenbuterol to try to work around that because they know how much can be in food. So in raising the levels, less people pop because the amount that they raised it for, I mean, it doesn't really affect your performance. At the same time, you can't have it too low because you could just eat some steak and then you can pop, all right? I'm not sure if the answer to this is to raise the levels for clomiphene or whatnot. I'm not sure. You definitely don't want to go up against the food industry. You're going to lose that, all right? Because there's just a lot of money behind that. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But as long as I just want to help raise the awareness to fighters that when people pop, they're not always just cheating, bruh. There's something bigger going on. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. ShowBizz, little dope. I'm out. Huh.